Okay, here we go, divisional playoff round. And I know that can I just start off by saying Andrew wants to talk to you.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing, buddy?
You know, just gloat. We're not even going to talk about your Green Bay Dallas game on this segment.
Please don't, though. I don't want to even think about it.
All I'll say about that game is I'm going over 52.5. That way I don't have to root for a side. I can just root for points. And I do think that's going to be the highest scoring game of the four this weekend.
All right, so we start on Saturday with Seattle at Atlanta, and then Houston at New England. What do you think of the Saturday games?
Okay, don't know yet. Still waffling on Seattle. And on one side of me says it's a blowout, just an absolute blowout. I think Seattle's got no shot in the game. Earl Thomas being out. Atlanta, you think Arizona, who lost to Saints at home 48-41, gave up 48 points, and they turn around, they go into Seattle and put up over 30 on that Seattle defense without Earl Thomas. And Seattle was playing for something then. So, yeah, they beat Detroit. Yeah, they look good. But this Atlanta's a whole different beast. But with all that being said, there's something about playoff experience and getting 5 points. And so that one I don't know. The other one, I may regret it, but I'm going to take Houston plus 15. I can't pass up that many points with the number one scoring defense in the NFL. I think everybody's putting too much into that first meeting, 27-0. Biscuit, whatever he played, and another thing, I just don't see Belichick running it up on Romeo Crennel and Bill O'Brien, two guys that have worked for him and the strength of the relationship. And if they're ahead in the fourth quarter, they're not going to drop Brady back. Too much at stake. So I'm going to take Houston plus 15.
That's one of those that they're really luring you in, right? They're really saying, "Come on, look at this. It's just this is the perfect bet right here."
Well, it's based on public perception of a team, and when you have a 27-0 first meeting, you just are able to get away with that number. Now, that number's come down to 15, so it's come down a full point since yesterday. So you are starting to get some Houston money. I think the sharps in Vegas were waiting to see if that number went up to 17 from 16.5. It didn't. They're like, well, we better grab it now, so they did. It's at 15 today. Wouldn't surprise me if it worked its way down to maybe 14 before kickoff. But I still think double-digit dog with that great a defense. And Houston ran for 138 yards in that first meeting. So I think Houston can hang around.
I have Michael saying, Andrew, that's the most you're going to do with Brandon after fighting with Manaske the other day?
Honestly, my gloating fuel is worn out. Because I believe in sports karma, as you know.
Okay.
No, I'm going to tell you this, though. Games take on a certain complexity. I give the Packers complete credit. Where Green Bay where Giants lost the game, and I give McCarthy credit, even though I was praying to God he lost the game going for it, a 4th and 1 from his own 41-yard line in the middle of third quarter, which was the most moronic thing I've ever seen a coach do.
I couldn't believe that.
If Ryan Leaf came back as a quarterback and he were African-American, he'd be Odell Beckham. And that's probably the best way to sum it up. The most overhyped receiver I've seen in the NFL in quite some time. And those two drops on those two first possessions. The Giants should have been up 17-0 in that first quarter.
The part where you realize, as a Packers fan, Andrew had to be like jumping for joy.
Yep.
Even before the Packers scored, when it was like 3-0 or whatever the score, 6-0,
Yeah.
6-0,
6-0 after they dominated the entire first half. It was just you knew they were in trouble there.
Yep, and I told my wife, she's watching the game with me. I go, this is about to be 7-6. She goes,
yeah.
The Giants' defense is dominating. I said, you don't get it, though. It just takes one play for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
One play, then 7-6 became 14-6. And even though the Giants got it to 21-20 there in the third quarter, and they were right there, you just got the feeling you woke up a sleeping dog with Aaron, and then it was the dam broke. So give him credit, tip my cap. Well done there, young man. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
And then JoJo said, listen, I'm going to be in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Where is Brandon going to be for the Super Bowl? Where do you go for the Super Bowl?
I don't know yet. I can't watch it with my wife because it's just so I go someplace.
Okay.
Might go to Vegas. If I do, I'll let the boys know I'll let the boys here know where I'm going. And let JoJo know we can meet up and have a cocktail and pound and fist knock and see how it goes. But as soon as I know, it's always a last-minute decision.
All right, and then Sunday's games. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and, of course, the Green Bay-Dallas game.
You know, I know Miami beat up on Pittsburgh really bad down in Miami, and then they turn around and got their revenge with Pittsburgh at home. I know Kansas City went into Pittsburgh and got absolutely pummeled. You all remember that game. It was probably one of the most dominant games we saw early on in the year. It was week 4 of the NFL. Kansas City went rolling down there as a nice 3.5 point. Actually, they're a 3.5 point road favorite. Think about that. Actually, Pittsburgh 3.5 at home beat them 43-14 in one of the most dominant games of the season. I just can't get off that. If KC wins, I know Andy Reid's great off a bye week, but I just can't go against Big Ben and Pittsburgh. I think we're destined for a rematch of New England and Pittsburgh. Remember the first meeting? Landry Jones played. Big Ben was out. I think it's Big Ben versus Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game.
All right, and then, touch on Green Bay-Dallas. You got to touch on it.
Highest scoring game of the weekend. Green Bay's not going to be able to run the football. Dallas, number 2 run defense in the NFL, 2 or 3. So it's going to be Aaron winging it against that Dallas secondary that late in the season ranked 27th against the pass. So I'm leaving that 4.5 alone because, like I said, Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers are sitting back waiting for me to either A, take Green Bay plus 4.5, at which point they'll implode and lose by 20, or B, I take Dallas minus 4.5, and they go, okay, Brandon picked against us, let's go. So leave that alone. Go get me some points, Aaron. That's all I'm asking for on Sunday.
All right, and I couldn't let you go without having you comment on the Bills' decision to go with Sean McDermott as new head coach.
I like it. I've always liked Sean. Going back to D coordinator days at Philadelphia, I think they got themselves the right guy. I really do. I didn't think, I think I came on your show and said I didn't think Rex was the right guy.
Yep.
And I was right. I think you finally got the right guy. I think Bills will be heading back in the right direction. Bills fans should be excited. Sean McDermott's a good man.
All right, Brandon. Well, I do want to say we're both hoping for the same thing, a ton of points from Aaron Rodgers on Sunday. So,
see, I did think you were going to say, but Brandon, great job on Clemson over Alabama. I thought you were going to say that.
That was a crazy game.
How about that? So, what a great game it was.
It's always, listen, as a handicapper, you always want to be on the right side of that game and win that game. And at the end of the day, I thought I said I had Clemson on your show last week, but because when I did all my radio shows last week, the last thing I said is Clemson would shock the world on Monday. But it just goes to show you, and remember this, a defense can look great all year long when they don't play anybody.
Right.
But when you finally step up and have to play somebody, NFL or college, when you can play a team, and think about this before we go, Clemson will end up having 4 first-round draft picks off that offense. Watson, Williams, number 8, Kane, keep an eye on him. He's going to be a sensational NFL player, and that tight end Leggett. Alabama never faced an offense all year that's going to have 4 number 1 draft choices in the NFL. That's how good that Clemson offense was.
Well, listen, before you do anything extracurricularly, head to BrandonLang.com. And Brandon, we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks so much.
Got it. Have a good one, guys.
Right. BrandonLang.com.